Whoever invented that saying and said, if you do something you love, it'll never be work, they were right, because I love filmmaking, but I also love money, and it keeps my lights on. Okay, maybe I phrased that wrong. What I'm saying is I love filmmaking, and I love that I get paid to do this because, one, it's something that I really enjoy and it sustains my family income. I'm sure you guys probably have full-time jobs. I still have a full-time job outside of this. And the only reason that I'm able to do all of this is because I'm getting some sort of value out of it. If I was only doing filmmaking and I wasn't getting paid for it at all, I wouldn't be able to get better gear or, you know, get good lighting or, you know, get the RS2 in order to, you know, continue to make all these great products. So doing these things, it has helped me in order to level up my business and come a lot further and deliver something better. But the only way that you're gonna be able to do those things is if you know how to charge. And that's not something that I can give you the answer to. That's something that you have to come up literally on your own. And it's based on a lot of different variables. I mean, where you live could play a factor. The type of gear or equipment that you use can play a factor, as well as, you know, what do your clients say about you? Because nobody wants to work with somebody that doesn't have anything to show. I'm getting ready for a gig tonight, but I wanted to do this YouTube video in order to take a stab and help you come to the conclusion of how much you should charge for what you do and how you should also navigate these conversations so you don't get taken advantage of. But the key thing to remember is I'm not telling you how much to charge. I'm just telling you how to come to the understanding of how much you should charge. I'm in the process of still learning and understanding the new DJI RS2 with the Raven Eye. So I'm gonna go check out an event here in Philly a little later, and I'm gonna try and master this because you should never take new equipment to a gig and not know what you're doing. So I'm not getting paid for tonight. It's actually for some friends, but I'm gonna try it out. So if you guys are into the DJI stuff, I'll do a tutorial or we'll figure out how to use this soon. But back to the video. What you charge is completely up to you. And no one should dictate how much you charge, not even your client. So in my filmmaking journey, I've been doing this for almost about 5 to 6 years. And I started out with an iPad, and then I got a camera and I increased my price. And then I got some experience and I built my portfolio, and then I increased my price. But it took a lot of learning, trials, and stumbles and falls in order to realize how much I should actually be charging. In most cases, a lot of the pricing that I've set and established is come from me being at the end of a project and saying, you know what, I probably should have charged more. Or, you know, you feel like, hey, I was really stressed out. If my customer is gonna stress me out like that, it's gonna cost you more because I'm worth more. This is something that you're gonna have to navigate, but I can at least show you a few key signs of knowing when it's time to raise your price and how to navigate some of these conversations with your customers. Thinking 2020 behind all the projects that I've done is it's when I have those first conversations with the customer, I kind of set the tone or set the pace for the value that I'm bringing to the conversation, and then I get the opportunity to analyze everything that they're telling me. But there's a few things that you should always look out for when you're having these first conversations. Matter of fact, how many of you guys has had a conversation just like this? Zenobia, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Shawn? How are you?
I'm good. What's going on? I heard you got a project for me.
I do have a project, and I'm so excited to tell you about it. I've been planning this for a while now. You know me as a music and movement artist, so a lot of what I do is based in movement therapy. But then also, I'm trying to find a way to like merge these lives of like creative music and then creative movement. So I would love to use one of my original songs and create a music video, but that also kind of like lives as a promo. I guess music videos in general are like promo, but I want this to be specifically for movement therapy. Okay. So the idea would be to get, I mean, maybe like a group of maybe 6 to 10 dancers, get some choreography going for movement therapy, just to kind of show that element of dance and that element of movement. But then also, I want to shoot it at maybe like 3 or 4 different locations, just to show the elements of like moving through life, right? Okay. And I have this idea of like showing the frames as far as like when I'm walking, I want this like me to be walking, and then like each one kind of like, I don't even know how to explain it, but kind of like phases through to the next space.
Okay.
So the people see me like walking, so I'm moving through, and then as I get to each space, that's where that dance sequence or whatever lives. I don't feel like it's a whole bunch, but I do feel like, you know, it could be pretty intricate as far as how many people I want to be involved, because I do feel like this should be a big community thing. Yep. But for the most part, that's really it. Like a music video / you know, a promo video. Like I think that's really it.
Okay. Yeah. What's your budget?
So as far as the budget, if it's coming directly from me, I know that I personally don't have like a whole bunch. So I do need to still talk with my team to figure out like what each person would be able to contribute to make this a reality. Okay. Personally, I'm thinking that what we could do is if you could just give me the raw files like afterwards, rather than like you having to edit it, and then basically you kind of just record what's going on, and I take it and I edit it myself. Maybe that could cut down on the price or the amount. But I probably could only do like, I'm thinking like 200, 250, something like that for the project.
Okay, pause. 2 fouls on the play. And by the way, shout out to Synovia for doing an amazing job in this role play. Foul number 1, you're gonna have some customers that are going to devalue the project and start to say things like, I just need, or it's just this, in order to minimize the scope of the work and also to give you a cue in order to shoot your lowest price. It's super important to make sure that while you're taking these calls with your clients, that you're taking notes and you're writing down all the details that they're saying, because things like location, where the shoot's gonna be, how long it's gonna take, permits, and all those different types of things, it's gonna help you come up with a roundabout number for the project. Biggest tip, and it's gonna come with time, is to know your numbers. That's a big thing. Foul number 2, what's your budget? Okay, what's your budget? Okay, could you tell me what your budget is? What's your budget? What's your budget? What's your budget? You will never get a straight answer when it comes to what's your budget. I can tell you I've asked this question to infinitum over 1,000,000 times. In most cases, they don't have an answer. You will get frustrated when they don't have this answer. So this is a question that I stopped asking without the proper context. It's gonna make you feel as though that you're prodding around and you're trying to find the answer. I believe it's some kind of tactic that whoever gives their price first loses, or some sort of wives' tale. It doesn't work. In most cases, when you ask about the budget, they're always gonna pivot to, let me talk to my team. I'm gonna have to talk to my board, or I'm gonna have to run this up the ladder. So start to have these conversations quick, so then that way they don't waste your time. I get it, you're just starting out. This is something that you love doing. You just don't know, and your client doesn't know. So what I would recommend is to start asking questions. In this case, for a project like this, I would ask, what are you shooting? Is it being published? Ask yourself, how long is it gonna take for me to edit this? How much time am I gonna take away from my family to do this? Is this something that I'm gonna have to drive to go do? Am I gonna need music licensing? Am I gonna need motion graphics? All of these things have a cost. You're also going to want to get paid. So after you know all of these numbers, it's gonna lead you to a place where you're comfortable giving the client a quote. It's a great idea to give your client what I called an anchored range. And an anchored range is literally a low number and a high number. Your anchored range is gonna give you cushion for things like revisions. If the client wants you to go back and edit the video because they don't like the song, well, that's gonna take more time, and you don't wanna go back to your client and say, well, that's gonna cost you more money. That's not gonna end very well. And it doesn't turn into a penny pinching fest, which can lead to negative reviews and a bad impression with your client. Have you guys ever gone to a mechanic before? And when you go to the mechanic, they say, hey, it's gonna cost $300. And then once they take the car back and they take a look at it, they come back and say, hey, we found this, so it's gonna cost an additional $200. Life really sucks at that point, and you get frustrated. versus if they had just told you from jump, hey, it's gonna cost you $700, but we actually did it for $4. Under promise and over deliver. All right, so let's rewind the tape and let's go back and try this again.
All right, so the project is a mixture of my music and movement work that I do. So I would love to have a promo video for my movement therapy, but then also a mixture of a music video to showcase this new song that's going to align with movement therapy. Maybe 2 minutes max.
Cool.
Is what I'm looking for.
That's perfect. That's definitely something we can do. We can knock that out of the park for you. Usually projects like this cost between $1,000 to $3,000. Is that something that's within your budget?
Yeah, I think I can make that work.
All right, cool. Good deal. So I'll send you guys over a proposal. We'll collect the retainer within 7 days, and we'll set up a discovery session and get started. When you do it this way, you don't get surprised. And I don't like to write proposals unless I know for sure that the client is in a place where they're probably going to send a check with that proposal. HoneyBook is an online business management tool that puts your contract, invoices, and emails all in one place. It's perfect for independent freelancers that are already using things like QuickBooks, Google Suite, Excel, and MailChimp. With HoneyBook, you can automate all of your work and use all of the easy-to-use templates in order to streamline your business with brochures, proposals, and invoices. They also have e-signatures built into automations so your client can sign, make payment, and send it back to you quick and easy. So simplify your to-do list and stay in control with HoneyBook. And just because you hung around and you watched this video, you can get started with 50% off of your first year with HoneyBook. Use the code Shawn Prez in the promo code section when you sign up. Don't worry, this promotion applies whether you're doing monthly or you want to do the annual subscription. You can also use the starter plan, which starts at $9 a month, but if you use the 50% promo code, it goes to $4.50 a month. So now that you know how much you should get paid, use HoneyBook so you can get that coin. By the way, we just hit 150 subscribers. The channel just started this year and we're already off to a great start. If you've already subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. If not, feel free to come along. In the comments below, put your Instagram name and what you do, how much you charge, and I'm gonna randomly select somebody to receive a $25 Amazon gift card in the next 14 days. Go do great things. I'm gonna figure out how to do this so we can make a tutorial on it. I should probably put the camera on before I turn this on.